Today's episode takes us through Panama, and we'll also be sailing with our motorbike across the San Blas Islands to reach South America. Welcome to Panama.
After crossing the border into Panama, we had a quick beach stop and some fresh fish and chips before heading to Anton Valley.
We decided to stay here for a few days to hike and relax before heading to Panama City. As Sandra's ankle was still healing from the accident in Nicaragua, she struggled getting up some of the trails. We also had to watch our step as there were some venomous snakes around. Anton Valley was very beautiful and the perfect place to unwind.
We loved our stay at the Golden Frog Inn, and after a relaxing night, we hiked La India Dormida the next day, which translates into the Sleeping Indian Girl and is one of the most popular hikes in the area. The town of Anton Valley is located inside the crater of an extinct volcano, surrounded by mountains and cloud forests. The views from up here were especially beautiful.
In the late afternoon, the wind really started picking up and we decided to hike back down.
If you ever visit, make sure to check out the pre-Columbian carvings by the entrance. It was time for us to leave Anton Valley, so we stocked up on some fruit and headed to Panama City. Our first introduction to the indigenous Kuna tribe was in Panama City, where Kuna women were selling their craft known as mola. We loved the architecture of the old historic center and enjoyed our short stay here.
It was interesting to see the contrast of the old historic town against the high-rise modern skyscrapers dominating the skyline.
After taking in one last sunset in Panama City, there was just one thing left for us to do before we could continue: fixing the ever-breaking luggage rack that started getting rusty on us. We played chess whilst waiting for all the paperwork before heading to Linton Bay Marina.
We spent a couple of days exploring the coastline, and riding on windy roads along the ocean made us really look forward to our sailing trip.
It was time to find accommodation for the next couple of days, and then we stumbled upon this little gem with perfect views of the ocean.
The next morning, we rode to Linton Bay Marina and covered our motorbike in WD-40, hoping that it would protect it from the humidity and sea salt.
The next part was really hard to watch, but Captain Yuyu and his crew managed to load the bike onto the boat with nothing more than some rope and a lot of experience.
Okay guys, take it down, okay? Lower it down.
Once the bike was on board and secured, we were finally ready to explore the San Blas Islands.
During our first island stop, we learned a lot about the Kuna tribe and their life on the island. The flag you see in the background represents the province of San Blas and is the official ethnic flag of Kuna Yala.
There are roughly 365 islands in San Blas, of which 49 are inhabited. We were lucky enough to visit a handful of the most remote islands.
The islands were completely unspoiled, had minimal facilities, and we felt truly blessed being able to enjoy their beauty.
It felt like a real adventure to sail with our motorbike.
Meet one of the only members of the sailing trip who didn't get seasick. Check out our travel blog to find out more about our sailing trip or any of the places we visited.
By this point, we even felt seasick on land.
The 38 hours were super rough and we were so sick, but finally there was land in sight.
We made it on land and treated our bike to a much needed bath to get rid of all the sea salt. Tune in next week to find out if we did enough to save our bike from any damage.
If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe and comment below.